This is Amanda Sweeney with the Christian County Health Department. And over the last couple of weeks, we've heard the governor talk about Healthy at Work. And during this presentation, we're going to be going over some of the governor's guidelines for Healthy at Work, as well as show you how to find some of the resources he's outlaid for the community. So we're going to go getting started here. We're going to open up our web page and go to Healthyatwork.ky.gov. And whenever you get to the web page, it's the Team Kentucky Healthy at Work reopening in Kentucky, and this is what it looks like. All of the information we're going to discuss today can be found on this page, so this is where you can find it if you need to reference anything I discussed today. But as you scroll down, you can see the governor's talked about the benchmarks for opening the economy. There's some more resources here on the side. You've got your frequently asked questions. After learning about the benchmarks and the requirements from the governor, you can report non-compliance, and there's some reporting options there. And during this presentation, we're going to talk about minimum requirements for businesses, and you can find the full ordinance and guidance here in the PDF, so we'll reference that in a little bit. But if you take a look at Healthy at Work, here's the schedule for businesses that are going to be opening over the next several weeks. So you can take a look and get a little more information on that. And again, this is just a drive-through version of the website so that you know how to navigate it. And it says for those economic sectors not yet scheduled to reopen, the governor encourages industry groups, trade associations, and individual businesses to submit a reopen proposal. And this is going to aid the governor and Department for Public Health in evaluating what point different types of businesses may reopen safely, or at what point they can reopen safely. So you can do a submit reopen proposal and submit that to the governor. And again, if you have any questions, there's a frequently asked questions tab down here, as well as Healthyatwork.ky.gov. It's a great resource. You can email, ask your questions, and they'll be able to get back with you with an answer.
I'm going to take a few minutes to go over with you all the minimum requirements for all entities. Now, this is the document that I referenced in the middle of the website a while ago. It's a PDF document. It's kind of found in the middle of the site there. You can click on that and download it for the full requirements. I'm just going to hit the highlights to give you an idea of what to expect. One of the first items that's going to be addressed is the responsibility of entities that are reopening, that they're going to have to meet the following minimum requirements before they can reopen. But there's also a note there for entities that have been open because they've been considered an essential business. As of May 11th, 2020, they will also be expected to adhere to these minimum requirements and guidelines. One of the items addressed in the document is the importance of employees having access to face masks and wearing these face masks. We also would like to see employees have access to gloves, especially employees, as you can see this lady, she's working at a cash register, so she's going to be handling a lot of credit cards, a lot of money. She's going to be interacting with the public, so it's very important that individuals who especially are working and touching other objects frequently from the public, they have access to gloves, and gloves that they can change out frequently so that they're not spreading germs. And if you see in the background there, we also would strongly encourage you to encourage your patrons to wear face masks as well before coming in to shop. Now, all businesses, they need to be instructing their employees and talking to them about not reporting to work if they have any fever or any symptoms of COVID-19. And once businesses are open, they must require their employees to undergo a temperature check and a health check prior to beginning their work each day. All businesses, they can ensure that they do not have any COVID-19 symptoms by doing an in-person assessment at the beginning of each day, or the employee, they can do a self-screening, and the employee can do that him or herself, but they need to report that to the business, and these screenings, whether done in person or whether the employee does a self-assessment, need to be done every 24 hours. Businesses who are open then need to be prepared to assist public health officials if an employee tests positive or becomes exposed to COVID-19. They need to be keeping documentation of work shift, work locations, meetings, and in-person clients or visitor contacts. And they need to be prepared to answer questions about the employee if the employee is tested positive. And some of those questions include, what was that employee's work schedule prior to testing positive? Where was that employee working in the days prior to testing positive? When was the last day the employee came to work? So you can see just keeping documentation of this information is very important, because as the health department gets these positive cases and does the contact tracing, then we'll need this information to be able to get into contact with everyone that person was in contact with that day and who might have spread COVID-19. Like I said at the beginning of this presentation, this was just a drive-by version of the minimum requirements that the governor has set for businesses who are opening. But if you want the full document, you can go to Healthyatwork.ky.gov, and not only can you find the criteria for a business opening and the minimum requirements that you have to meet, but there's also a ton of information on there, frequently asked questions. Everything you need to know is going to be on that website. So if you have any additional questions, I encourage you to visit healthyatwork.ky.gov to get all the information that you need. We appreciate your time today, and please let us know here at the Health Department if you have any more questions.